like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hey everybody, welcome to the post-show wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank. We had an amazing episode today. I'm your co-host, Ted Jenkin, sitting here with my co-host, Lee Heisman. Of course, today we had on our guest CEO, Will Hall, who is revolutionizing the healthcare and health insurance industry with HIPnation, HIPnation.com. You guys have to check it out. It's really amazing stuff. Whether you own a business of a couple people or you have a business of 100 people, it's really blowing up right now in a very, very positive way. I will tell you, for people that are watching the wrap-up today, that you should always go to shrimptankpodcast.com. You can check out all of our episodes of our some 180 CEOs that we've interviewed here in Atlanta, and also see many of the other cities that we're in right now. We've done some 700 interviews. Check us out on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, anywhere around the internet. And this is where you're going to get your MBA. This is where book smarts and street smarts, that's where it collides, right here on the Shrimp Tank.
So, Will, absolutely amazing podcast. I always say listen to the show in its entirety, but it really struck a chord with me because of my background in physical therapy, and I know why I got out of physical therapy is I simply didn't like the way that healthcare worked. And I love the way that you described your business as almost a concierge doc service for everyone. Can you describe what HIPnation is and how you are revolutionizing the industry?
HIPnation is a healthcare service where we build an entire ecosystem outside of insurance, outside of a hospital. You put insurance where it should be. Everyone gets 24/7 access to their primary care physician. Our primary care physicians have access to over 150 specialists to take care of us. Only send us to a specialist when we really need to be there. And then pay true cost prices for labs, imaging, pharmaceuticals, even for those specialists. Prices, and those prices sometimes are 50, 80% less than insurance-based prices. So you put more money back in the employer's pocket, the employee's pocket. So yeah, concierge medicine for everyone is the foundation. That's how people get healthy.
I think it's such a cool model. And like a lot of businesses, you have to acquire talent. You have to get talented people in a business to be able to get it work. In your case, this also means getting talented doctors. How do you recruit those doctors to want to come into a system like HIPnation? And how do you retain them over the long term?
Well, a fantastic thing for us and not for the docs is physicians are burned out at about a 60% rate. So they actually call our chief medical officer. They're hearing about what we're doing.
Wow.
And saying, hey, I want to be a part of what you're doing, because they're so burned out. They want to see the change to their profession. So they'll call us up. They'll also refer their friends once they join. We have members who will call up and say, hey, you need to add such and such doctor. They're amazing. They have, we call it our HIPnation DNA, who are folks that want to be a part of the revolution, who think differently, think about being a caregiver, and think about really taking great care of folks. So they're actually coming to us. We're thankful for that.
That's cool.
Well, you know, a big part also is being such an innovator in this industry, maintaining that culture of the business. So what have you been doing as you're growing the business to maintain this intimate level within your business?
Well, that was a draw for me to come with the company. Is I definitely believe in building a culture. I think culture wins long term. Peter Drucker said, you know, culture eats strategy for breakfast. I think we've got both of those. But we have our second annual HIPnation Day coming up in about 2 weeks. We did one last year.
HIPnation Day?
HIPnation Day. So we pull all of our physicians, our primary care docs, specialists, their admins, investors, all together. We have a great meal together, and we can share
rappers
stories.
and stuff like that? No music?
No rappers yet, but maybe you. Yeah,
I'd do it, yeah.
Come.
If you want a little Beastie Boys, I'm happy to do it for you. So I can do it.
Boys.
Well,
so it's bringing that entire team together, and we you know, these are the folks that are starting the revolution. So we love having everybody in one place and getting to tell the stories. It's fun.
So you may not get invited to that particular barbecue event.
Eventually, we will have one for all the members, too.
That would be wonderful.
We look forward to that.
If you want to be a member or even learn more about it, Will, how would people get in touch with you?
Yeah, it's hipnation.com. There's information on there for individuals, families, for businesses. There's contact information. We'd love to be able to talk with you.
Well, what I love about Will's story today is, remember, sometimes our businesses get sick. And when they get sick, we have to figure out how to make them healthy. And sometimes the way to make them healthy is to revolutionize, to think out of the box about a solution that nobody has thought about before in your industry at all. And when you do that, sometimes you can turn that bottom line from a negative to a positive and get your business off to the right start. This is your post-show wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp